February 28th, 2010. I'm going to try to get a lot of things in this 10 minutes for YouTube. You guys know that my suggested solutions, administrative solution tools that I suggest for the CPS Corruption and Government Cleanup Initiative, being a quality of life and U.S. economy defrauding court reform state of emergency. What's being done to our children is always finds a way to utilize the internet technology so that we can use the same technologies that are used to oppress, track us, enforce bench warrants and things like that on us. Use the same technologies to expose what's going on in the courts and so on. So where the citizens actually will eventually have a docket reporting that is the truthful public record, holistic and uncensored, okay, whereas courts traditionally have become involved to control their dockets as they have to control their information, but they're subjective because of the corruption is poisoning the dockets. What gets into the dockets is about what's best for someone else's political interest, usually a court position person like an attorney or a commissioner or something. So I just want to report to the CPS Fighting Collaborations Family Preservation Groups that the U.S. citizen, my suggestion of a public docket is formed here in the Pennsylvania, is registered with the Pennsylvania Department of State Corporation Bureau, the fictitious name, U.S. Citizens Public Docket Database, and the Secretary of State has assigned us an entity number. Pedro A. Cortez has assigned us an entity number, and you have to say what the fictitious name is, which for us is the U.S. Citizens Public Docket Database, which we're going to use that, the data in that publicly posted database, made accessible to all U.S. citizens, anyone living here in America. You don't even have to be a citizen, just publicly post incident. The technology students and the law school students and the business school students and the business school professors and the law school professors and attorneys are really helping us with this, and people working as in diners, middle class, working poor is helping us. This will be a infinitely sortable database where you can pull out the information that you need to really track the evolution of crime, any type of crime. It connects relationships, okay, through the data, through the input of the data, and you can really get a truthful reflection of what the public record really is. Okay, so you have to also say in line 2, a brief statement of the character or nature of the business or other activity to be carried on under or through the fictitious name. And the U.S. Citizens Public Docket Database's function is a litigation referral of class action CPS corruption in government court reform case studies. Okay, that's what we're here for. That's what the database is here for. HireLyrics Administrative Services launched this as the administrative tool, the solution for being able to gather the data for the purpose of litigation referral of class action CPS corruption in government court reform case studies. HireLyrics Administrative Services developed prototype demonstration of an administrative solutions tool to clean up CPS corruption in government to address what is acknowledged, seen, and measured as a child slaughter U.S. economy fraud court reform state of emergency. We call the administrative tool U.S. Citizens Public Docket Database. The function of the U.S. Citizens Public Docket Database is litigation referral of class action CPS corruption in government court reform case studies. I want everyone, you don't have to be a CPS corruption in government victim, because we span every demographic. There's none of us that are exempt. We can all possibly be attacked by this mechanism. In our data, we have characterized the nature of the enemy. It literally has machine-like characteristics. So it's revenue-driven, right? It's about revenues, and it's systematic, okay? Where it does totally pushes to the side, or it's totally devoid of any caring, of any emotion. But the nature of the attack of having our children kidnapped and then witness them in the various controlled scenarios where we're able to see them waning, the light leaving their eyes, we know they're being abused, nothing's being done about it, we're not able to protect them, and at the very least, we're just not able to tell them who they are, we're not able to pass their heritage on to them. Let me just say this about me. I was born in a little town 30 miles west of Pittsburgh. My grandfather worked in the steel mills. My father left when I was 4 years old to go find work because said he didn't want to die in the steel mills. He found work in New York. He took a trucker's certified driver's course, through Railway Express company, and he brought us, his family, to New York. He has 6 children and a wife, and brought me to New York when I was 4 years old. He raised us as a trucker, right? We didn't have much, but my family, we always ate, we always had food, we always had clothes on our back, and my father and mother paid for a house that my father passed away November 15th. He worked for Railway Express Company for like so many years, like 15 years. He was a teamster. I've seen my father work. I've seen my father stand up for his rights on picket lines at the union. I've seen him demand and be part of groups that were about liberty, that were about our American freedom and enforcing our right to quality of life. And I got my work ethic from my dad. Then my dad went to ITT Continental Wonder Bread. He delivered the Hostess Twinkies and the Ding Dongs and all. And then my dad became a technician / cameraman driver for ABC White Roller Sports, and where he worked for 16 years. So I just want to tell you that I have the example of what a work ethic is, And so because I know when you know what something is, you're also able to recognize when it doesn't exist. So I just wanted to say that, I want everybody to please, when the corrupt Court of Common Pleas Philadelphia Family Court violated my civil rights and the civil rights of my daughter, Lorraine Greenwich, to extort money from my son-in-law, right? My drug-impaired son-in-law, which forced my grandchildren into a recklessly endangering environment, and now with verified injuries as a result of the revenue-driven crimes that were committed against us by Judge Robert J. Matthews, Timothy E. Pacente, and Fern Brown Kaplan. I saw that as what it is. It's an act of war, So I want to suggest an administrative solution for cleaning up CPS corruption in government for court reform is going to be personal accountability. Use the same internet technologies that they wield against us, which is when they issue a bench warrant or they say we're in contempt, their records are all screwed up and they lost our kid's file or they changed our kid's name or they locked our name up. They're using databases. Let the citizens, the families, control the definitive database.